Anyway, we appreciate you all coming together in this last minute deal here with this announcement. You know, these things move very, very quickly, so we appreciate you all being nimble. As Sean said, this is as Austin is still having a season with Alabama. We're doing this sort of informal media scrum today, but we will have a more formal press conference when he's able to join us in San Antonio. But we're really excited. Today is a great day. Every day is a great day to be a Roadrunner, but today in particular for the future of men's basketball. Like I said, you all recognize this was a pretty quick process. But when you have the right person, it makes it really easy to move forward and make this hire. We're really excited for Austin. He checks all the boxes that we were looking for. He's had Division I head coaching experience. He's had success. He's been around successful programs. He knows what it looks like. For me, again, my student affairs background is always going to come out. He's in it for the students, and that's what we're here for, is to ensure our student athletes are having an exceptional experience culminating in graduation. And he's going to make their campus experience exceptional, and they're going to be able to have a great time here at UTSA and leave with a degree and play the sport that they love. I can talk more about, what people had to say about Austin, but what just kept coming out, as I said in my quote, is just his unbelievable work ethic, his positivity, his energy, his connection, not just with student athletes, but with the entire athletics program, with other coaches, with donors, with the cities that he's been in. So again, he checks so many of the boxes that we're looking for, and we're just really excited for, like I said, the future of men's basketball. And happy to, as Sean said, we'll answer questions, but I'm going to keep it brief because I know you all are here to really learn more and get to know Austin more than hear me speak. So I will turn it over to Austin.
Thanks, Lisa. Man, like she just said it, just like she said, what a day it is. Always a great day to be a road runner, right? But man, honestly, what an incredible just few days it's been for me. And truly is a dream come true. I've always, being a guy that grew up in Houston, I'm a very proud. I am a unapologetic Cowboys fan. I always grew up like in the Spurs and the Rockets, and it's funny now to I've been all around the Southeast as a coach. From South Carolina, went to school in Georgia. Of course, I'm now here at Alabama. Spent 7 years in Louisiana, and it certainly really feels like full circle to come home and be the head coach at the University of Texas San Antonio. So I am extremely excited. I really want to thank all of you for being here today, because I think that shows just how much support and how passionate that we all feel about this athletic department and program as a whole. And I think we certainly all feel that there's a ton of potential and excitement surrounding this basketball program. And I can tell you right now that Lisa mentioned it. I'm still a little bit busy. We have a few more games hopefully here to win here at Alabama and finish up what I've been able to help accomplish here. But I can promise you, I am eager, anxious, excited to get to San Antonio and start working. Because like I said, I think that there is just unlimited potential, a lot of work to do. I understand the obstacles. I understand the difficulties that come with this opportunity. But I'm a problem solver, and I'm gonna seek advice. I want help. I want guys who have been around San Antonio. Guys, feel free to bring your suggestions to me. I want people at practice. I want people at the gym with me. And I'm just looking forward to getting to San Antonio once and for all and meeting everybody face to face and getting on a campus. So, no, that's really all I have to say, Lisa. I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say and get to know you.
All right. Thank you, Coach. As I mentioned, we'll have about 20 minutes for questions and answers. So please use the hand raise function. And as you ask your question, your first question, if you don't mind, give a little bit of an introduction about yourself so Coach can get to know you. JJ has had his hand up since before we started, so we'll begin with him.
JJ Perez, Inside Runner Sports. Lisa, can you talk about the, I guess, timing of the process and how quick it went, and I guess why did it go so fast?
Yeah, great question, JJ. So Yeah, as soon as on Thursday when we made the announcement that we were not renewing Coach Henson, we went to work. I want to thank Drew Turner from CSA Consulting. We've engaged them before, and we have a great relationship and partnership with them, and we went to work right away. And by that afternoon or that evening, Austin and I had our first conversation, with some others, and he was just very impressive in that first interview. Obviously, any sitting athletic director always is keeping their eyes and ears open for, we would be careless if we didn't have short lists and if we weren't paying attention to other coaches for all of our sports. And so Austin's a name that, people have been following for a long time. And, his success at Nichols is a testament to what he's able to do. And so it went by really quickly. But when you look at college sports, particularly men's basketball, I think there's about 26, maybe 23 positions open right now, and we knew that there was going to be a lot of people going after Austin, and I think it's a testament to our staff that we were nimble and we were able to fend some other folks off and really move forward. And I think it's just our commitment to Austin as well, and what we want to do with this program.
All right, we'll go next to Greg.
Austin, this is Greg Luca with the Express News. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you taking the time. I wanted to ask, I know in your opening statement there, you mentioned that you don't think UTSA is a place where it'll take long to win. What sort of inspires your confidence that this can quickly become a winning program?
Well, I think Greg, in general, when you look around college basketball, you see more and more, I don't want to say quick turnarounds because it takes a lot of work, but I think you see more and more season to season improvement, than maybe in the past. That could be due to, the portal. That could be due to player development. Just and anytime you get a staff turnover, I think that there's so much turnover across every conference now and every league, and I think there's so much talent across college basketball, even within the team that we already have right now. That listen, I don't think the margin for error in every game is so close, right? And so it's not just about change, and it's not just about new faces. It's also about little things within the game that can help you win 3 or 4 more games here and there. I mean, you guys had a ton of close losses this year, right? And so again, I just think in general, I think it's less about something specific, to UTSA. And when you talk about a quick turnaround for new people, I more so mean with the state of college basketball as a whole. Now, with that being said, obviously, when you've got a fan base like ours, you've got a city like San Antonio with as passionate as we are about athletics and about the city. That's one thing that really excites me about this opportunity the most is the heart of the city, the identity of Texas, and the city of San Antonio specifically. I think that identifies a lot to me with who I am as a person. And, I say all the time, I think good teams win games, but I think great communities win championships. And I do know growing up in Texas what it means, to be from Texas, to be from San Antonio, and the type of heart and pride that our community has. And I'm excited to share that with them. And I think when you combine that with, the style of play and things we're going to do within the basketball realm of things, that could lead to, to an exciting season next year.
We'll go next to Stephen.
Hey, Austin, Stephen Whitaker, birdsup.com. I know you're in Alabama for the run of their tournament, but what is something you are most looking forward to doing when you finally get to San Antonio?
Steven, what's up, man? Well, first and foremost, I'm ready to come meet everybody involved. I'm ready to meet the people of the administration. I'm ready to meet the other coaches. But most importantly, meet our players and sit down face to face and, just start to gather information. I'm a big information gatherer, and get to know the landscape better, of San Antonio, of the surrounding areas. And again, just the heart of the athletic department. I'm a big believer in being a team player. You will see me at every other sporting event. You'll see me just walking around campus talking to people. Sometimes it's hard for me to shut up. I love just getting to know people and sitting down. And you'll see me with the Starbucks all the time. So if anybody on here likes coffee, just let me know and we'll pop in and get one. So really excited just to get down there and get to know my team, our team, and the people around. So that's certainly what I'm looking forward to most. And then the other part would be getting to sit down and have some of that good Tex-Mex again. It's been too long, so I'm looking forward to doing that.
Jerry, did you have a question?
Yeah, I did. I'm trying to.
Oh, I think you're on mute, Jerry.
Okay,
You're
hear me
good.
now?
You're
Okay.
good.
Hey, Austin, Jerry Briggs. I run a website. It's called the JB Replay. Congratulations on the job and everything. I was curious. I wanted to ask a little bit, Austin, about your time over at Nichols and just kind of the learning process for you on how to navigate being such a young guy in the head coaching profession, and just kind of maybe some of the best lessons you might have learned in your time over there at Nichols on how to use your age to your advantage.
Yeah, well, I think, certainly the age, it can be, you can use it to your advantage, and it can also be to your detriment if you don't know how to counter it, right? And for me, it's about surrounding myself with people who maybe have some more experience or maybe give a different element that I don't give or have, or whatever the case may be. I believe we won because I had a great staff. I'm a big believer in that. It's again, it's never about one or two guys. Never about a head coach, never about one or two players. It's about your group and organization and program as a whole. So every position matters, from the last guy sitting on your bench to your student manager to your associate head coach to your director of operations. Truly evaluating those positions and helping everyone understand that regardless of what your role is, giving it 100%. To ultimately help this team win a championship. And I think one thing that I'm able to do is as a young head coach is, people say relate, to players and things like that. It's sort of a generic word. I really just want to get to know these guys and build authentic relationships with them, which is sort of my strength in building relationships. And that's, as a young head coach and a guy that, when I took the job, didn't have a ton of experience in Nichols. I believe we won because we built those true, trustworthy relationships. And you know how it is, Jerry, when you have that in your program, you can't necessarily look at the paper or the talent and know how many wins is going to come up. So I felt like we were able to overcome some obstacles that we had, having some fewer resources and things like that. One of the lowest resource budget, in the Southland. And able to, find ways to overcome those things by investing in our people. And I think I'll continue to do that here.
Go back to JJ.
Coach JJ Perez, Inside Runner Sports. I wanted to ask you, obviously at UTSA facilities is a big issue. How do you plan to navigate, I guess, the arena the Roadrunners play in, and then looking forward to that construction of the practice facility? How do you plan to, I guess, navigate through those challenges?
Listen, the construction of the practice facility is going to be great. It's going to, obviously that's something that can really help us on the day-to-day in terms of just a place where the guys can come together and see, just have another resource, right? Just have another place they can go and get some shots up and hang out and be around each other. And I think when you're trying to build something, that's what you want. You want more places where your guys can get together and be around the team and build that camaraderie. In terms of the Convocation Center itself, I mean, listen, I'll tell you what, I've played in some of the nicest arenas in the country that were empty. And then I've played in some of maybe the older, smaller arenas in the country that were loud, and those are the toughest places to play at. So I'm not necessarily concerned as much about what the Convocation Center looks like. I'm more concerned with getting people in there because I think we can have the best home court advantage in the America. And I do believe that, when we get that thing filled with a lot of people that care about Roadrunner basketball, that to me is what's important. And I'm more focused on trying to help people, see that vision that I have more so than getting a new arena right now.
Back to Greg.
Austin, trying to look back at some of your teams at Nichols, it seemed like they played pretty fast and you guys forced a lot of turnovers. Is that sort of the style of play you intend to bring to UTSA, or what should we expect in that regard?
Certainly I think, Greg, to an extent, we definitely want to play fast, similar to how we did at Nichols and like we do at Bama, right? Spreading the floor, I think everyone likes to say shooting a lot of threes. We do like to shoot a lot of threes, but we'll play inside out. We're going to throw it inside and try to, impose our will in the paint when we can. But we do want to spread the floor and play up tempo. have a structure, and then hope our guys play with freedom and unselfishness within that structure. And yeah, defensively, we did force a lot of turnovers. We will definitely bring some of that, here to UTSA. But it's a different league as well. The American is a different league than the Southland. There's things that would work in that league that won't work in this league, and vice versa. Every league is different. And so it's about, we'll study and we'll sit down and, we'll be methodical going about how to build the best defense possible.
JJ, did you have another question?
Question for Lisa. Can you share with us the terms of the agreement?
Yeah, very similar to what we've had in the past. We, a 5-year deal, very incentive based. We're again just I don't know if you have very specific questions about it, but yeah, very similar to what we've done.
What's the value?
Yeah, so the guarantee is $650.
All right, Greg.
When you guys sort of set out to set that contract and that number, Lisa, was it important that it was a step up? I know you've talked a lot about the need to step up contracts and coaching salaries across the board to compete in the conference. Was that a big emphasis with this hire?
Yeah, you know what? Particularly as we've talked about with our assistant coaches, and those are conversations that Austin and I are going to continue to have, and what his priorities are. We want to continue investing in all of our programs, but in particular men's basketball, right? And I think we're making that investment certainly with the practice facility. I think that's a huge step forward in helping these programs. But it's something that Austin and I we've in the short time we've been interacting, we've had some small conversations about what's going to be important to invest in that program, and we're going to continue to have deeper conversations about how we can support him. That's my job, is to support him in the areas that are going to help move that program forward.
Antonio.
Hey, thanks for the mic, guys. Coach Clonch, Antonio Castillo, Alamo City Hoops. Again, congratulations, and good luck this week against Charleston. Just a quick two-parter for you, Coach. Number one, getting right into it. I know a lot of work. We cover high school basketball year-round and some college basketball events throughout the city, throughout the state of Texas. The relationship specifically in San Antonio is completely broken with the high school coaching community and UTSA basketball. What's your plan or just immediate reaction, and how to bridge that gap? And then secondly, not really a question, but make sure you hit up Lupe Tortilla, best fajitas in town, Coach. They got a lime marinade. You're going to love them. Now, stand by.
Antonio, great to see you. And I will get there ASAP. And, in regards to that, of course, being from Texas, I certainly have a ton of connections in the state as a whole. And when it comes to San Antonio, that, of course, will be, the first thing that's going to be my main priority when I get there. When I got to Louisiana, when I got to Nicholls State, I had no ties to the state as a whole. And as an assistant coach, that's where Coach Riley wanted me to put my focus in, is building those connections within Louisiana. And then ultimately over my time, 7 years there, that sort of became our strength, is our connection to the city, to the state, because of the work that we put in. And again, Antonio, those are the things I value. I don't want it to come off too cliche, but this community is going to be really important for us to win a championship. The support behind this team, the consistency at which we continue to, support these student athletes through the good times, through the bad times. And obviously that's something that we've got to build, not just myself, but through our staff. There's a ton of talent and basketball in San Antonio and Texas as a whole. Listen, it's easy to recruit nationally nowadays. The good news is you don't necessarily have to when you're at a place like UTSA. There's a ton of talent in your backyard, and there's incredible coaching around as well, which oftentimes can be hard when you're recruiting other places. We're blessed to be in Texas, where there are a ton of good high school players and good high school coaches. So I look forward to getting down there and starting to build that with a lot of the local schools.
Go back to Greg.
Coach, have you thought much about how to turn over the roster in your first year? Do you think we'll see a lot of maybe like grad transfer guys that could be ready to play right away? Or are you going to be more focused on the future, maybe bringing in some young talent that you can develop? How do you line it up right now?
Yeah, first things first, I want to get down there and meet with our current roster. I want to get down there and meet with our guys. I think oftentimes, it's easy when the transfer portal and everything starts happening to get anxious about recruiting and other players and things like that. quite frankly, my goal for UTSA is, to get us playing in this tournament that's coming up here soon. And those teams aren't necessarily recruiting right now, right? Those teams are worried about playing. And so it's easy to kind of look at the future and start worrying about new players and things like that. I want to get to San Antonio and talk to the guys we have now, right? I want to focus on our current team, see how they feel about my vision. And then from there, obviously we'll bring in some new guys, and there may be some guys that choose to move on or whatever the case may be. But I'm certainly going to sit down with our current guys and just have conversations with them about how they feel about our program and our vision together, and then we'll move forward from there.
Jerry, did you have another question?
Yes. For the coach, I am curious, Coach, to get your thoughts on the state of Texas. I believe got 6 teams in the NCAA tournament today. If that's not the most, it's one of the most, most participants in the tournament of any state in the nation. And it goes back a few years. I think we've had 6 or 7, for each of the past few years since the expansion to 68. And just your thoughts on what that says about the rising popularity of college hoops in this state, that we get so many teams in the tournament each year.
Yeah, no, Jerry, that's an excellent point. And again, as somebody that grew up in Texas, I'm not a stranger to hey, listen, it's a football state, right? I'm a huge football fan, and I've always known that growing up in Texas. But man, when you look at the expansion of the basketball talent and population from the last 20 years, it truly is impressive. How it's grown in San Antonio specifically, and Austin as well, and Houston and Dallas. I mean, and now in West Texas, you're getting a lot of players, even from the El Paso Abilene area. So, it kind of touches on what I said a few minutes ago in regards to it's great to recruit nationally and all that. It's great that it's easier to do that. But we're lucky to be at a place where we don't have to do that as much. And then again, it really speaks to the high school coaching, right? I think there's a lot of places that there's places across the country that have talent that maybe don't have the same caliber of coaching that we do at the high school level. And so again, to be in a place where you're going to get some guys that have been coached to do things that translate to the college level when you get them, that's certainly an advantage that we have.
Good time for one more question, and then we'll have Dr. Campos close it out. And then obviously when Coach gets to campus, he'll have plenty of time to visit with you. Last question, we'll go to Stephen.
Hey, Coach, what would your message be to the current roster of players as they're trying to weigh, their future?
Well, again, I think the biggest thing, Stephen, is, just give me a chance to get down there and see you guys in person and talk to you. It's easy to want to move fast and make quick decisions these days about anything. The biggest thing is I want guys who are going to be invested in our program, and I want guys who want to be in San Antonio. I know that we're going to do big things, and we're going to do that with guys that genuinely really want to be there, right? And like we've talked about for the last 20 minutes, there's a ton of talent around, and we'll talk about recruiting for days. We could do that, but I want to get down there and talk to our guys face to face. Because they commit to UTSA for a reason, and I still believe that they can be big parts of us winning a championship here in the American. So I would tell them to just hang tight. I'll be down there, here soon, and look forward to talking to them in person and sharing my vision for themselves and for the team and the university face to face.
Thank you all for your questions. Dr. Campos?
Yeah, appreciate that. We appreciate you all being here. It'll be a story for a later time, but I've been operating on about 6 hours of sleep over the last 48 hours. We had a trip out to Nashville. We had complications coming back from Dallas. So I think I misspoke. The guarantee, JJ, is 550. I don't know. My mind is going through. So 550. I did want to make that correction, and apologies. This brain is a little slow with the 6 hours of sleep. And then again, just appreciate you all being here. Looking forward to you all getting to know Austin. It's really exciting to have him on board and leading this program. And we're Austin, I said it earlier when we met with the team. There's some positive pressure. We want him to go as far as he can with Alabama because that's great for UTSA as well. So we'll be rooting. We'll be Roll Tide fans here in the tournament. But really can't wait for him to be in San Antonio for y'all to meet him and just feel his energy in person and just the relationships he's going to build within the community, within the high school AAU coaches here in San Antonio, with our constituents, et cetera. So appreciate you all being here and supporting this.